Appoint Danielle then. There you go.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Bowling Green Board of Commissioners for February 6, 2018. Invite you to stand if you like. I'll offer of invocation and then pledge of allegiance. Father, we thank you for another wonderful day in our community. We thank you for those who have joined us tonight, and we pray that you'll give us wisdom as we consider the items put before us. Thank you, Lord, for your guidance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Denning.
Here.
Commissioner Nash.
Here.
Commissioner Perigin.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Here. Do you have any awards or recognitions tonight, sir?
I do not.
Anyone on the commission? Do you have any comments for us?
I do. There'll be a need for an executive session. Kate will read the reasons.
Pursuant to KRS 621810-810-1B for deliberations on the future acquisition and sale of real property by the city, but only when publicity would likely affect the value of the specific pieces of property to be acquired for public use or sold by the city.
So moved.
Hang on, just one more.
Oh, you're done. I thought you were done.
And pursuant to KRS 618101G, discussions between the city and a representative of business entities and discussions concerning a specific proposal if open discussions would jeopardize the siting, retention, expansion, or upgrading of the business. Sorry.
All right, so moved.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Perigin. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Any other comments, sir?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting on January 16, 2018, and our special work session goal planning meeting on January 23, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Nash. Is there any questions, additions, or corrections? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. The first item is second reading of ordinance BG 2018 number 4.
Ordinance closing a public right-of-way. Ordinance approving the closing of a portion of an unnamed alley located between 1124 and 1132 Kenton Street.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denning, second by Williams. It's second reading. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Second reading of ordinance BG 2018 number 5.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning a tract of land containing 0.31 acre from RM3 multifamily residential to RM4 multifamily residential located at 1569 Virginia Drive, presently owned by Stephanie Robin Reich.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Nash. Second reading. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Second reading of ordinance BG 2018 number 6.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 0.81 acre from GB General Business to CB Central Business located at 719 and 727 East 12th Avenue, presently owned by TC Homes Enterprises, LLC.
So moved.
By Nash, second by Perigin. Again, a second reading on the unanimous recommendation from Planning and Zoning. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Second reading of ordinance BG 2018 number 8.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning tracts of land containing 9.81 acres from HB Highway Business and RM3 multifamily residential to PUD Planned Unit Development located at 302 Morgantown Road and 1748 Holly Drive, presently owned by Tabos Landing LLC, Shannon Basham, Rodolfo Vlad, and William Cunningham with the Venice
Casino Group.
Thank you. Vecino Group LLC as contract vendee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Nash. This is a majority recommendation from Planning and Zoning, 8-1 to approve. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-13.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Kristen N. Graves to the position of Community Center Supervisor and the probationary appointment of Daniel A. Higgs Danielle A. Higgs to the position of Community Center Coordinator in the Parks and Recreation Department.
Moved.
Second.
Motion by Nash, second by Williams. Mr. DeFebo?
Thank you, Mayor. Incumbent in this position moved to help run our cemeteries, creating this vacancy. We did an internal and external selling of this position, and from that process, we have distilled our choice to be Danielle Higgs, and I would ask Brent to come forward to put her name forth as a promotion.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. This opening began in September when Kathy Maroney was promoted from the community center to the cemetery. She was the community center supervisor, so that's where the position was actually vacated at. We went out, we received 31 applications, got 16 applications for review. We interviewed 12 over, and we actually did two rounds of interviews. Our first recommendation is the promotion of Kristen Graves to the open position of community center supervisor. She was community center coordinator underneath Kathy. Kristen's been with us about a year and a half now. It'll be 2 years in June. Kristen came in our opinion, with the best vision for the future, where we're headed for our Moxie Center, and we feel like she is the right person to take us to the path we want to be. If that recommendation is fulfilled, then behind that we have the recommendation of Ms. Danielle Higgs for the coordinator position. Danielle was with us as a part-timer for 3 years while going to Western. Did an internship at Boone County within this past year, graduated with a rec administration degree, and we feel like we are lucky to offer the coordinator position to Danielle to do the backfill of Kristen's position. We're happy and extremely excited to have these two individuals join us, and pleasant to, can't wait for the future for where they're going to lead us. So be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Comments or questions? Joined us this evening?
Danielle's here to my left, and I think Kristen is behind us in the back. So they're both
Congratulations to
here.
you. Please call the roll.
Got a dragon in your throat?
Yeah, I had. Yeah, I got a dragon in my throat. Yes.
Ash,
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes, congratulations. Look forward to working with you. Municipal Order 2018-14.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Roger D. Childress to the position of Parks Facility Maintainer Senior in the Parks and Recreation Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denning, second by Nash. Mr. DeFebo.
Thank you, Mayor. One of our workers in the Parks Department chose to get promoted in Public Works Division, creating its vacancy. We went out and advertised position. From that process, we had 14 people, and of that, we chose to interview 6. That distillation left us, in our opinion, with the best candidate, Roger Childress. If you look in the menu agenda, I've never seen such a rarefied, glowing report about someone saying he's diligent and skillful and all the things we want in a worker. So I think we made a good choice here. I don't know if Mr. Childress is here. There you go.
Any comments or discussion? Please call the roll.
Yes.
Ash,
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Thank you again for all that you've done. I look forward to keep working with you. Municipal Order 2018-15.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Travis R. Cowan to the position of firefighter in the Fire Department.
So moved.
Moved.
Motion by Perigin, second by Nash. Mr. DeFebo.
Thank you, Mayor. We're always trying to keep a full complement of both police and fire. Tonight, we're here to talk about fire. We had an applicant who was not able to fulfill one of the skills needed to be a firefighter, and on their own volition chose to self-resign. Jason came to Michael and I and asked us if we could take someone else from the vacancy list, and knowing the need to keep current with our census, we said yes. That allowed us to present to you tonight Travis Kean, am I pronouncing that correct? Cowan, I'm sorry. Interesting application. He's a National Guard firefighter, which is quite unique, and he's certified in both 1 and 2 certification. And I think we're all proud to have him. I believe he's here tonight.
I think he's going to go with the, glad to have you here, Travis. Thank you. I think he's gave the other members of the class a 3-week head start. He's going to catch them and finish at the same time. Any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. And y'all are welcome to slip out if you choose to. Municipal Order 2018-16.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Katie Schaller Ward as interim city manager.
So
So moved.
motion by Wilkerson,
Second.
second by Nash. Any comments or discussion?
Yes, sir. Couple of 3 questions. I guess during this transition as acting city manager, I look at a couple of things. We have 2 base salaries, the present city manager, the assistant city manager who is moving to acting city manager, and somewhere in between we have responsibility to come to some type of a conclusion as to the individual's salary. And my question is, I guess, how did we come to where we're at here based on the document presented as to what Mrs. Schaller Ward will receive during this interim period?
Mr. Grubbs isn't here to respond to that, but in his discussions with me, the policy indicates that you are awarded what the minimum level of that particular position would be, and based on the individual beginning salary for what the current city manager had with cost of living increases from the time he started, and that's where the difference comes in. Did I get that correct? She's actually coming in at the minimum of what Mr. DeFebo's salary would be in the minimum range. We have a minimum, mid, and a maximum range. So during the fill-in period, she would be filling in at the minimum range.
And that was based on what? And don't get me wrong, I am not saying, let this not be interpreted that I have a problem with what Katie is being proposed to get. I'm just trying to figure out, is it the right salary? Should it be more? And certainly not less. So don't interpret it that I have a problem in any kind of way, except for, are we at the right spot in giving her the difference?
And if I try to explain it in,
Well,
if it's
I get a
what-
little confused as
what
the
Mr.
COLAs and all of that. We got 2 base salaries, where Katie's at now, where the city manager's at now. Somewhere we should come in between. Where does this move Katie to money-wise versus what the present city manager is getting now?
What it is, when we hired Mr. Febo, he had a salary. At that time, over those 12 years with the cost of living, that beginning salary is now, from what it was then, with those cost of living increases on it, That's what's the basis for the income differential that she'll receive temporarily. Now, this is the difference between what you see in the order is the difference between what she receives now and what she will additionally receive for the period of time that she serves as acting city manager, which I apologize that I don't know that total, but it's I think it's about 150 if it were annualized.
Versus the present city manager is at what?
We were looking at the hourly rate, and so if we looked at the hourly rate for the present city manager versus my current hourly rate, and this supplement would get us within about $10 of what the current hourly rate is for the city manager.
Get you within $10 of the city manager's
Current hourly rate.
Currently hourly rate.
Yeah.
Where Mike came up with this formula is in the past when we have somebody fill in as a department head or that fill in a rank that's above their rank, then they generally receive either a 10% differential or the minimum of that next rank. And this is the minimum of that next rank based on adding the cost of living to what Kevin had in the very beginning.
I guess my next question is, we all interested in making sure that all of our employees have equal pay for the job functions that they are expected to do on a daily basis. Is this within that range based on the responsibilities that Katie will have during this time frame?
Certainly believe so. It's the minimum of that range. Since it's in a temporary position, the choice is 10% or the minimum of the next rank, and the 10% wasn't sufficient, so we went to the minimum of the salary range. Question is, are we treating her as we do anyone else who participates in a role that's the next role above them? Then yes, that would be we're treating her exactly the same as we do everybody else that fills in a position above their rank.
And this increase in salary, is certainly over and above any other salaries within the city government. How much over?
Amount that you see in the line number 2, 2325.
Well, I just want to make sure that whether it's Katie or whether it would have been someone else, that we're taking care of our employees. And thought about it for a few days as to whether or not I was going to say anything, because I know that all of us seated here are going to make sure that they are taken care of. But I didn't want her salary to be way below and where everything else is at now. And apparently I'm the only one got a question. No, I understand. I just want to make sure that I'm comfortable. I'll ask again. So the new amount for Mrs. Shallow Ward, I'll get that right too, is based on what I understand a few $1,000s short of the minimum of the present city manager. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
Not the
think it's-
minimum, it's of his current. So if you consider what the city manager is making today as the top of the range, and then an incoming person in that position at the minimum, we're looking at the supplement being the minimum, and that the current city manager with 12 years' experience is at the maximum.
That's within $10 per hour.
Yes.
When you take your current pay and the supplement pay and add them together, it's within $10 per hour of what the current city manager is making.
All right. I feel better. I'm clear anyway.
Seems very fair. It seems very fair. Appreciate you doing it.
She may change her mind. So.
I just wondered if Kevin was going to change his mind.
No.
No.
Any other comments or questions?
Is there an amount you're looking for?
Couple of $100,000 a year. That's what I was
For her.
looking. Yeah.
I'd take that anyway.
Looking for.
Not for you.
I just handed out a form on what you guys can get. It's not too.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions then? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Excuse me. Yes.
Ash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-17. Oh, yeah, wait a minute, we didn't clap
Oh,
for
we
you.
did it. Not necessary.
We appreciate your stepping into it. Of course, you know you're jumping into the deep end of the pool, so.
I do. I don't know what to expect, but we'll find out.
You can do it.
I believe I can.
2018-17.
Municipal order approving the reappointment of David Wiseman to the Bowling Green Warren County Regional Airport Board.
Second.
Denning, second by Perigin. I put this on here for Mr. Wiseman's first reappointment to the airport board. And has served us well. Appreciate him doing it again. Is there any other comments or questions?
None about Mr. Wiseman, and I
Yes, sir.
support his reappointment. My question would be, I have had 3 different people approach me about being appointed to the airport board. And what is the process for how someone goes about doing that to this board or any other board?
Great question, and what we have the process, if you go onto the city's website, you can look for those boards and commissions to find out what's out there, and if you want to express an interest to any of the members of the commission and get that to us, I make those recommendations for the board to consider. There are a lot of times that there is more interest than there is availability. Mr. Wiseman has served very well. I hesitate to replace him. There's after a little while, it's time for somebody to rotate off. I consider that the three people that approached me as well, and I told them that I was going to continue with Mr. Wiseman on this particular appointment or recommendation. But anytime they can send in their resume to me or the city clerk or any member of the commission and get that to me. I've got a few of them on my desk to review.
County also makes appointments. They can approach the county as well.
Yes, the airport board is a city and county appointment. I'm limited, for my recommendations, I'm limited for those people who live within the city limits. The county, however, can appoint anyone within Warren County, which also includes inside the city limits. So that opportunity is available. Be a great question. Thanks. Anything else? Please call the roll.
Denning. Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-18.
Municipal order approving and accepting bid number 2018-37 for playground equipment and benches for Covington Woods and Lambkin Parks from Miracle of Kentucky and Tennessee of Litchfield, Kentucky, in the amount of $265,295.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Perry.
Thank you, Mayor. In our comprehensive recreational plan, the consultants, I think, correctly established that our playgrounds are the foundation of our recreational system. And as such, they need to be constantly updated and to reflect what is recreation and today. So we're here tonight to improve two of our recreational sites, I believe, and Brent's going to take you a little bit around the park to show you what we're getting and let the people know what they're getting for their money. Brent?
Thank you for the opportunity again to be in front of you. Mr. Febo is correct. 2015 master plan. One of the primary recommendations was to update our park playground equipment. Since that time, we have replaced Kariakis Park, Pettigo Park, and this year we are recommending new structure for Covington Woods and Lambkin Park. The actual diagram in front of you now is what we are recommending for Lambkin Park. Understand that Lambkin Park has a unique setting. We have some free space there that we can add some additional playground area to. We're not limited to in particular size or scope of the playground per se, and we actually have some new additions at Lambkin Park, being a rope climber. It's a double mast, which is a double peak, and some swings that are new. We also have some additional freestanding equipment that is new. So the equipment at Lambkin is really primarily just the structures. For that reason alone, we got 8 bids from 7 companies. We're recommending Miracle Playground equipment for the replacement of the structures at Lambkin Park. If I can draw your attention a little bit to kind of walk you around, if you would. Lambkin's going to feature, you have I get my cursor to work. That is the 5 to 12-year-old playground here, a little bit larger, definitely a little bit more challenging. Some climbing apparatus on the right side of the playground there for it. I'll take you around the back side here in just a second. In the middle is the 2 to 5-year-olds. That's the toddler playground. But what we've added at Lambkin is additional climbing features. You'll look in the back. That's a new feature that is becoming more popular. It's kind of like a pseudo wall, if you would, and then a 3 rock. It's a rock, a landscape rock. That's the largest rock is just under 10 foot tall. It's going to have nets coming off of the rock. It's going to fit in well, we think, with the setting at Lambkin Park. Musical equipment here for children to come in and get some sensory enhancements, I guess, and then we also will have some additional swing sets. These are the tot swings, and the red swing set there is a kind of a new feature in playground equipment. It allows for a parent and a child to swing at the same time. So that is going to be going at Lambkin Park. Let me get a different view of this playground. That's the other side of the view. You can kind of see the rock structure, the climbing structure here. But I think the overall setting of Lampkin Park will do well with this playground. The greatest thing I think that's already caught a little bit of the news is a zip line. It's really a glider is a better term from it. It's really, the technology is not new. It's overhead gliders, but what's the adaptation is there is I can't see the, yeah, actually you can. This little red piece here coming down is a swing set seat. So what happens is the platform is 4 to 8 inches tall. That's 4 to 8 inches off the ground. The under 300-pound child can, because that's our weight limit on the glider.
It's 3?
300.
Have
Yeah.
we tested it with staff?
We
All
personally
of us
not,
can
but there are
make it in.
videos that have. Yes.
How high is the line? That's
Well,
the important question.
The platform is 4 to 8 inches, and I'll tell you, when you actually get on the seat, you're going to be about 2 foot over the mulch. So if that's the best way to answer it, the seat's going to be roughly 24 inches over the ground. So, the unique thing about it is you can kind of see the decline here. That gets your momentum, but really in the middle of the track, you can actually see it right there. It starts inclining, and that really digresses your impact then as you come in over to the next platform. We're obviously excited about it. We think it's going to make, once again, Lampkin offers the space available to put this 70-foot track in. So we're not confined to in space at Lampkin. And then right below that, to give it prior or just due, is another thing. It's called it's really a glider. It's more like a rocker. It allows multiple children of whatever movement abilities they have to kind of get in and have a good time together. So that's going to be another freestanding piece of equipment at Lampkin. Now, if you would, we go to our other playground. If there are any questions about Lampkin, be happy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, up under the line, we're talking about what type of surface?
It's going to be
Straw, huh?
all mulched, playground mulch, just like the rest of the playground. It'd be wood mulch throughout the entire system.
Hard mulch or
No,
soft mulch?
It has to meet the playground certification. It has to. It's going to be, we'll call it much smaller than your mulch around your house. I'll put it that way.
Get ready, Gene. Get the forms already printed out.
Can I make a point?
Yes, sir.
At its highest, it is still probably lower than most swings.
That's exactly right, because at the platform is here, the swings, that's when you load up here, a child would stand on this platform. To get on the swing, they have to come down the ramp a little bit to get on the swing.
So if there's going to be a fall, it's no greater distance than somebody's falling off a
Actually,
swing.
I'll go back to this structure here. This platform is much higher than 48 inches.
Which one?
The one where the cursor's at,
See it.
the 5 to 12 platform is much higher than the platform on the
The
zip line.
swing set right there, the seats of the swing set, how
They're-
high are those off the
They're
ground?
going to be more than 24 inches.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They will be more than 24 inches, yep. Sure will be. And once again, the technology, really it's a wheel inside of an encasement. That's basically what it is. It's a wheel. You're riding on a single wheel down an encasement. So very little maintenance for us. We're used to we're used to that kind of technology anyway. So, any other questions on Lampkin Park?
What happens to the equipment that's there now?
We'll have to. Well, once it's taken out, we can't use it again. It can't be used in a public sector. Now, we can sell it on Gov Deals. We can sell it to the private sector, and they can install it then, and they assume the playground installation risk and such. But once it's removed, we can't use it again. And I also like to make sure that you understand the installation of all this equipment is done through the playground company. That is not a City of Bowling Green responsibility to install the playground equipment. That is the company's responsibility to install the equipment.
Well, just let the public know, we're not just
That's right.
throwing this away because we want to throw it away. It has come to the end of its life.
It has come to the end of it's definitely time. There are portions of this playground that we're replacing that's over 20 years of age. And that's one of the reasons why it's a recommendation from our master plan was, one of the great recommendations from our plan was to rejuvenate what we have. And we definitely agree with that perspective in that, to reintroduce some of the parks by improving our equipment.
And if we sell on Gov Deals, then we would sell it with the point of whoever purchases it is responsible for the removal of it, so that we're not liable for that either. So if they choose to remove it and take it, then it's theirs.
That's where you see like churches and
Churches,
daycares.
churches, and that's exactly right.
They buy
And
those things off.
preschools tend to be the most interested in those sort of pieces of equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And to be blunt, some of the equipment probably won't be able, the older swing sets that we're replacing, I don't think they'll be able to be salvaged. They're pretty rusted at this point of their life. If you allow, we'll go over to Covington Woods. Any other questions on Lampkin?
When's it open?
When will this, by the summer? We'll have all the playground equipment installed by the summer.
Zip line.
The same, all the same. The one thing we have at Lampkin is our timing for the new playground equipment there offers us, I'm not sure why it's green on the left-hand side, so that's kind of frustrating. We'll try it that.
Will the zip line go first?
Well, the great thing about Lampkin is because we're not replacing all the equipment, it won't be a total shutdown of the playground because it's not a complete replacement, if that makes sense. And the zip line will be on a new section, so that's something exactly right. They could probably start on the zip line first, have it open before they actually remove the odors apart.
Now, how does the timing of this coordinate with the splash?
Should be very similar in what time we're getting done.
So the spray park should open about the same time that these?
That's our goal, yes, sir. It should be really similar to about the same time. And not to mention some of the new walkways we have going through the middle of Lampkin Park. We're really talking about some of the finishing about the same time. Is that correct? So we're really talking about some major enhancements to Lampkin all coming together at near the exact same time.
Have a little community gathering over there and unveil all this.
And we still have some work to do on some courts over there as well. So yeah, I think would be something we'd really love to do. Matter of fact, I think through Neighborhood and Community Services, we've talked about doing one of the BG on the go type of events there, and I think that's probably how we'll probably welcome it to the public when everything is complete. If we go to Covington Woods, the only thing that's different at Covington Woods, understand that it is a total replacement of everything at Covington Woods. Covington Woods is one of our more popular playgrounds, attracts a lot of, obviously, the neighborhood setting that it's in. The thing about Covington Woods, it attracts a lot of younger children, a lot of toddlers and such. Is not uncommon for us to have there. And we don't have the abundance of space to add additional playground equipment there. This is really take out what we have there and just put in some improvements. What you're looking at, the cursor here is the 2 to 5 year old playground. That has three. I may have to go up to the bad section, but let's see, 1, 2, yeah, that's 3 slides, and there's the 4th slide. It's got a total of 4 slides on our 2 to 5 year old playground. The great thing about this playground is it's entirely ramps. The only steps that you'll have is towards the end at the spiral slide. I have to go back to my malfunction, but you'll see there are some steps here to the spiral slide, and that's the only steps in that entire structure. That is great because it's an inclusive playground piece of equipment. This ramp will lead from a sidewalk will lead from the ramp, to the ramp from the parking lot with no physical barriers. We feel like that will serve our younger crowd that uses the playground, as well as some of our individuals with limited mobility within our community. So we're excited about that. To the right of that piece of equipment is, you can see those kind of ramps. That's the exact same piece of equipment we're putting at Lampkin. It's a glider. It's the same concept. And then at the corner here is pretty much a new age of a merry-go-round, in essence. You set in in a seat with your back against the plastic backing, and you kind of spin that direction. But all those would have no physical barriers to get on. The same way with the musical equipment. In the middle, you're looking at it's actually 4 rock structures. You just have to go to the other one that you can't see because of the green, so sorry, but it's actually four formations of rock. If you're familiar with Covington Woods, Covington Woods has a mini rock formation now close to the tennis courts, and we thought it was kind of a great way to tie that in to the playground itself. All these rock formations are 8 foot and under. So no rock formation as high as Lampkins, but 4 total to kind of add to our own little unique perspective there.
Is it rock?
It is not. It's prefabbed rock. Yeah. But with our formation, with our idea of inclusion on this playground, same way at the swing sets, the cursor is over the top of what's termed an adaptive swing. That is good for a toddler as well. It's good for an individual with limited mobility of their legs. Right here is a double swing. Once again, a parent and child can ride together. You have the toddler swing, and then you have your full range swing. You have another climbing structure here, a unique apparatus. Where my cursor's at is a new tire swing. The new age tire swings do not have holes in the bottom. They're really like a disc. Gives you a little mobility. It's a little more bungee cordish. It gives you ability to kind of go up and down as well as spin. And in the corner, you can't really see, and I'm not sure the other one's even better. Yeah, it's right there. This is a 4-person swing toy or spring toy. And then right here is a unique thing. It's around some communities and school playgrounds. It's really an individual seat that works on momentum. You sit in it, and you just spin around your spot in one seat. But that's our whole as Covington Woods. We understand the neighborhood that Covington Woods is at. We're trying to be respectful of that. The shade canopies around, we've got some positive feedback from the shade canopies we put up at Kariakis, and once again try to protect the 2 to 5-year-olds that use that playground. We feel like it gives enough open space to still give some free play in this structure, but be happy to answer any questions about either playground that you may have.
What size trees are they going to be?
I'm sorry, what size trees?
Yeah. I know they're going to be little trees when we plant them, but what?
These, we actually will not be adding any trees to Covington Woods around the playground.
Is the glider, can you get on the glider in a wheelchair, remain in your wheelchair, and ride it?
Yes.
Good.
You sure can. It actually, the Lampkin Park gliders probably gives us a better diagram of what it is. But you'll see that there's quite a bit of space in between here, in between the benches. Yeah, there's a little bit of space there. That's why.
But at Covington Woods, you won't have to travel over mulch to get
exactly
to it.
Right.
At
It'll be a
Lampkin
sidewalk
Park, you
in.
would have
That's
to
exactly
travel.
right.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Got a ramp at both places.
Right. You can get on them at both places. It's just at Covington Woods, you won't ever have to take a wheelchair across mulch to be able to get there. You'll be on hard surface the whole time.
Until you get to the ramp.
Lampkin Park, you would have to go over mulch to get to a hard surface.
Yeah.
Comments or questions? Just hang on, Brent. We're going to bump yours up since you're already up there
Okay.
and take Mr. Goodnight next. So please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. And if you don't mind, I'll be moving number 14, which is Municipal Order 2018-22.
Municipal order accepting donation from the Mason Goodnight Foundation in partnership with East Little League and Dotson Electric for a scoreboard for the Little League Major Field at Kiriakis Park in the total amount of $15,153.
Second.
Motion by Nash, second by Williams. Go right ahead, Brent.
Thank you again for the opportunity. It's been a unique night for us at Parks and Rec. We've had some personnel, some playgrounds, and eventually we even have a pro shop, I think, at Crosswinds is on our agenda. But this one, we're just excited about with a little bit of a heavier heart, a little bit of emotional circumstance from this one. Come to you with the opportunity through the Mason Goodnight Foundation. This is his father to my left is Jeff Goodnight, and Mason Goodnight Foundation was started in last April Mason passed away suddenly. And Mason was an active member of our East Little League. He was an active member of our our Warren County Youth Football League, a golfer, just a great young athlete. And the great way that I believe Jeff and his wife Janet decided to do his memory was create the Mason Goodnight Foundation. And we're extremely happy that for one of the ways they want to give to the community is by assisting us at Kariakis Park with a new scoreboard. It'll be the Mason Goodnight scoreboard. It'll be through East Little League. It is the second field as you come into the park, what we call the Major League field. I think I tried to give you the best I could, kind of a quick diagram of what it would look like. And you know, we're extremely happy that they decided to continue Mason's givings through Kariakis Park. Jeff is here with us, and just very thankful for their involvement with this.
Jeff, would you like
Just want to say on behalf of my wife Jana and my daughter Peggy, my parents Shabby and Brenda, but most importantly on behalf of Mason, we're honored to make this donation to keep his spirit alive. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Clearly it has been for all that you've done. I think it shows just how much your family has thought of for all the donations that have come in and what you've now turned back to the community. Thank you so much.
Oh, with our foundation, this is going to be our first, I mean, not our first, but it's going to be our largest, but we have a major announcement coming up with Candy Claycomb and Old Stone here in a couple weeks that's going to really impact our foundation, that we can really do a lot of good in this community, and we appreciate how this community's wrapped their arms around us, and we can't say thank you enough.
Someone would like to participate in donating to the Mason Goodnight Foundation, they would get in touch with you by...
We have a Facebook page or a website, Mason Goodnight, playingformason.com, and it explains everything on there.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here and appreciate your consideration in this. Thank you so much.
Had the pleasure of knowing your dad for over 50 some odd years. One of the best friends that I've got. Class act.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Look forward to it being up soon. All right, we'll go back now to item number 11, Municipal Order 2018-19.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting negotiations after sealed bidding for bid number 2018-39 for the Crosswinds Clubhouse renovation project from Lanham Brothers General Contractors Incorporated of Owensboro, Kentucky, in the amount of $302,474.
So moved.
Motion by Nash, second by Denning. Mr. Febo?
Any of us who have ever visited or golfed at Crosswinds are always reminded of the inadequacies of the restroom facilities in the clubhouse there. We're here tonight to finally make this a priority that's been around for more than a dozen years. I would like Brent to come up and just briefly take you around the improvement that we're going to make, and thank him for putting this on our radar, and for everybody before him who was also attempting to put it on our radar and just wasn't the money at the time.
I usually come before you for these facilities, and my number one goal is usually the same. This is no difference. It's really revolves around the restrooms. With this, the only difference is we definitely want to improve and increase our restroom ability, but we also want to, what I say, curb appeal. I feel like it's imperative that our pro shop is reflective of our course, and we feel like we can make some minor changes on the interior. This is an interior renovation that will enlarge the restrooms primarily, provide more floor space for our pro shop, and better serve the customers that come in to that golf course. It will increase our concessions room or concessions slightly. If you've been to Crosswinds, you know that's basically an enlarged closet. It won't be...
A small closet.
Yeah, well, how about a walk-in closet?
Okay.
So we'll definitely dedicate a little bit more space, and maybe not the amount of space, just the ability to move in that space and to go in and be more user-friendly in that space as well. The only increase in actual in square footage is in the bathroom areas. We're increasing the current exterior walls from the steps in the front and back. They're going to go to that side of the patio, and that's as far as we'll go. But the end result is sometime, really, it's going to mirror about Lampkin Park's playgrounds. It's going to be sometime by May, June. We will have a finished project, we hope, that is serving our community at the peak time needed. So we feel blessed to be in front of you with this recommendation. I appreciate Mr. Febo's support and the Mayor and Commissioner's support up to this point.
And construction there will not affect play at all, will
We'll
it?
not close down our course during the renovations. Matter of fact, we'll not close our pro shop during the renovation. We'll continue operating. Now, we may have some porta potties during that time, but that would be, in my humble opinion, the most drastic change for our users during that time. Yes, sir.
You're not gonna have a temporary office set up out there?
Yeah.
Why?
We don't believe we'll have to, because the actual counter of the pro shop is probably going to be the least impacted of where we're going to be inside. But I will tell you that if it gets to the point and we feel like that is needed, then we'd most certainly do that. But our present planning is not to. And we feel like it's a job that we can do without impacting the customers coming in and out negatively. They can't get on the course. If you think about it, we actually have a large patio. And the front part of that patio won't be affected. So that's where some of our temporary things will be used at as needed.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2018-20.
Municipal order approving the continuation of agreements for local and out-of-town card fuel service with Valor LLC and bulk fuel supply service with Key Oil Company.
So moved.
Second.
By Denning, second by Williams. Mr. Febo.
Thank you, Mayor. Back in 2013, we did a partnership with BGMU and WKU to share the bidding and hopefully the savings from partnership between the three parties. We did an agreement back in 2013, and one of the clauses of the agreement was that we allowed extensions of that. We're here for the second year extension. They run in 2 years extensions. Gene is the architect of the document, and Greg Meredith is here if you have any questions. But in essence, we're continuing to partner with our partners to save money for the public on fuel, not only bulk fuel, but card fuel that all the city employees and other agencies use.
Questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams. Wilkerson.
Order 2018-21.
Municipal order authorizing and approving the depot building maintenance agreement between the City of Bowling Green, Warren County, City County Depot Committee, and Friends of L&N Depot Incorporated in the total amount of $200,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Perigin, second by Denning. Mr. DeFebo.
Over the last couple of years, a committee consisting of city members, some city members, some county members have been working with our friends at the L&N Depot to effectuate a transfer of control and ownership of the building from the city and county to the friends of L&N Depot. One of the problems with that simple take the building is the building needed many repairs. We've entered into negotiations over the last year or so, intense negotiations about what is needed. We come up with the idea between us and our friends at L&N Depot, and tonight we have Barry Williams from the committee.
Who?
Barry Williams. Okay, he's over there. Okay, I don't know. And Jamie Johnson, who's the executive director. Here's the deal. we want to put in $100,000 of the county's money and the city's money. We're going to divvy that out over a 2-year period at $50,000 a year for each entity. So over a 2-year period, we give $100,000. Over a 2-year period, the county gives $100,000. Over a 2-year period, the Friends of L&N Depot get $200K to do such things as take care of HVAC. There's box gutters, which are notorious for being problematic. We have historic doors there that need to close and lock. We have exterior painting, and we have issues involving the parking lot. We think it's a good deal. We're looking forward to getting the building repaired and giving the building to our friends at L&N Depot. Barry or Jamie, do you wish to make a comment? Okay.
Roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
I have to abstain. I serve on that board.
I forgot to say Rick serves on that board. Sorry, Rick.
Just in time.
Just,
Rick and Barry Williams both down there?
Wilkerson.
Yes.
I'm on that board too. I'm on the other board.
I'm done with 2018-22, right? We're finished, okay. Municipal Order 2018-23.
Municipal order approving and authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with Dunn Quinn LLC doing business as Cliffs of Moore Irish Pub related to the lease of a portion of the city sidewalk in front of 410 East Main Avenue.
Second.
Perigin, second by Williams.
As we all know, we're trying to extend our downtown environment out into the sidewalks in a controlled way to encourage, where we can, eating on the sidewalk. We do this through a lease agreement. We've been approached by this LLC, Dunn Quinn, to support their lease at 410 East Main Street. Gene is the architect of the agreement. If you have any questions, Gene's here to answer.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes, Municipal Order 2018-24.
Municipal order approving construction and accepting maintenance of Swanee Trail Court Extension in the Mount Victor Old Town subdivision.
Moved?
Second.
Second by Williams, Mr. DeFebo.
Been approached by the developer of Mountain Victor Old Town subdivision to add Swanee Trail Court Extension in that subdivision. This would bring in 599 feet and appurtenances onto the city's domain. I thought it might be helpful if Greg could come up and give you a brief overview very quickly of what we do when we're approached by developers. Greg?
Overview, very.
Overview, yeah. Thanks, Mr. DeFebo, Mayor, Commissioners. Strictly on subdivision acceptances, which just is a subdivision, even though it's commercial in nature, multifamily residential at the end of this one, it's incumbent upon whoever applies for us to take in infrastructure into the city for that to be built and constructed in such a way as to meet our all of our criteria as such. For new developments in the city or the county, it's the Planning Commission who has that initial responsibility for inspection and for approval, obviously with the jurisdictional body approving the initial plans. So this is the last phase, I think it's phase 5 of the Old Town Mount Victor development. This is the last part of the roadway and on Swanee Trail. So that's the way that process works. And this is just 511 feet, I think it is, and a couple of storm boxes. So,
Comments or questions?
One, what does substantially complete mean?
in this case, it's substantial is pretty much. There's some things that are left that are either things that they can't build now because the lots have not developed out. In this case, the substantial part means that we've left out some sidewalk. That sidewalk's going to be built, and there's a bond, you may have seen, that the Planning Commission still holds for that length of sidewalk. So that's the substantial nature, I think, in this case.
Thank you.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Nash.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes, it's the last item on our agenda. We have public comments available for anyone that wants to bring something to the City Commission's attention. That would be the opportunity to come up now, and Francisco, it would be your turn.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me here and for having public comments to hear our things that we need here in the city. And I am a longtime native. I reside in 572 Moss Creek Avenue, and I've born and raised here. I just want to apologize for some of the explicit language that I may use in this speech. I just want to, I guess the subject that I'm covering isn't something that is something that I can't really make
Keep in
sound
mind, though,
small.
that there are people that are underage who are watching this. So.
I understand. It is nothing explicit. This is concerning something that has happened to me, and this is a form of discrimination that I faced on campus. Go back to Mexico Spix. These words ring in my ears as a cup filled with hate is flung at me and my girlfriend. This occurred on the night of October 5th, 2016 on WKU's campus. It was a day we were attacked based on how we looked. We're not Mexicans, and as many of you know, like I just stated, I was born here and raised in Bowling Green. I'm a proud American. On that same night, I vowed to combat hate and not let it define who I am. I quickly contacted institutions meant to stand with us when these type of hate crimes occur. I called the WKU police, and they didn't physically come out to us, but they did conduct an investigation, searched for the perpetrators, and the crime was labeled a hate crime. The next day, I sought more assistance through the Bowling Green Human Rights Commission, and they do amazing work. The Kentucky Human Rights Commission as well, in the NAACP. Everything was documented and reported, and I felt relieved that there were so many governmental institutions standing with me. I was treated as the human that I am. I also received support from the Bowling Green and WKU community, constantly approached by many students, LGBTQ and international students mainly, who shared their own experiences with hate here in Bowling Green. And as you know, there have also been recent events that have also occurred with people and WKU students recently as well. I provided the avenues available to them that we offer here in Bowling Green. But for the LGBT community, it is not that simple. They don't have the same protections under the law that I as a Latino do. But the Fairness Ordinance ensures that the LGBT community will have the same protections that I do. It is because of that, I, alongside WKU student that is here today as well, Lily Nellens, and WKU student Mark Clark, co-authored a resolution that almost unanimously passed in SGA in support of the passage of Fairness Ordinance. Roughly 20,000 students, including myself, want and need these protections. I was always taught to treat everyone, others, with the love and respect, no matter how they look or how they think or how they love, no matter what. The fact of the matter today is that we all deserve equal protection from hate in any form, because just like you and I are, they are also people and citizens of the city and this country. And thank you for listening to me.
Francis. Any other public comments tonight? Francisco, if you would come up and give the clerk your name and address when the meeting's over. Okay.
You got it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lily Nellens. I live at 1355 Kentucky Street, and I am the chair of WKU's Student Government Association's Legislative Research Committee. As Francisco mentioned, I am also one of the co-authors of a resolution, along with Francisco and Mark Clark, endorsing a fairness ordinance for Bowling Green. This resolution passed nearly unanimously in the WKU Student Senate last semester. As such, I am here on behalf of the WKU student body to let all of you know that we demand a fairness ordinance for Bowling Green. The WKU Student Senate is a diverse organization made up of Republicans, Democrats, religious students, secular students, and students from nearly all organizations across campus. All of us agreed that a fairness ordinance is critical not only for our university, but for our city. And this is because for us, it was an obvious and uncontroversial choice. In fact, I believe the resolution passed with only a few minutes of debate. What I think is important to remember is that WKU students not only vote for us in SGA, but vote for City Commission as well, and their opinion has been made clear. Further, our university and our students are the economic lifeblood of this community, and students aren't going to choose to come to WKU and come to Bowling Green if they don't feel like their safety is going to be protected and that their lives are valued. And they are certainly not going to stay here after graduation if they believe that they aren't going to be protected throughout the rest of their lives. WKU students are the future employees and employers of Bowling Green. We need them to stay here to be innovators and open small businesses in order to keep the city going. And as was mentioned earlier today, it is important, as mentioned in this meeting, to protect employees, because I believe all of you want the best not only for your own employees who deserve protection, but for the employees across Bowling Green, many of whom we will be in the future. WKU students are the future of Bowling Green, and it is clear that the future is also fairness. Thank you.
Any other public comments tonight? Yes, sir.
My name is Kelly Embry. I do not currently reside in the city of Bowling Green, but much like Francisco, I am a lifelong resident of South Central Kentucky. I'm also the communications director for Kentucky Normal, and I have a rough draft of a resolution for the city of Bowling Green to consider on medicinal marijuana. I could read that to you, or we could talk, however you would prefer I proceed.
5 minutes.
All right, well, we'll see what we can get through. Whereas comprehensive public medicinal marijuana programs are currently legal in a total of 30 states, including the District of Columbia, Guam, and Puerto Rico, containing well over half of the population of the United States. Whereas there have been thousands of studies and ample scientific evidence available indicating the therapeutic value and that marijuana is beneficial to people with chronic and terminal illnesses, including, but not limited to, multiple sclerosis, cancer, epilepsy, Alzheimer's disease, glaucoma, lupus, Parkinson's disease, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic pain, neurological disorders, HIV and AIDS, Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia, muscular dystrophy, ALS, as well as post-traumatic stress disorder. Whereas the American Medical Association, the American Nurses Association, American Academy of Pediatrics, American Cancer Society, American Academy of Family Physicians, American Public Health Association, the New England Journal of Medicine, National Institute on Drug Abuse, American Preventive Medical Association, National Multiple Sclerosis Society, the Epilepsy Foundation, and hundreds more credible, influential medical organizations that support marijuana reform and have endorsed the use of medical marijuana. Whereas a 2013 Kentucky Health Issues poll found 78% of Kentuckians support legalizing medical marijuana, and more recent polls show closer to a 90% approval rating. Whereas growing marijuana for medicinal purposes could prove lucrative for Kentucky farmers, bring jobs, generate revenue, boost the economy. Whereas other legislation may be filed and has been filed, 3 bills currently on the House and Senate floors, to legalize the use of medical marijuana. And whereas the city of Bowling Green has a vested interest in ensuring that its members and their families have access to all viable medical options that could address symptoms associated with chronic, painful, or terminal diseases. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the city of Bowling Green, we hereby amend to support legislation to legalize the use of medicinal marijuana.
Thank you. If you'd like that with the clerk.
Certainly.
Any other public comments tonight? Seeing none, we'll close this part of the meeting and move into our closed session. We'll take a 5-minute recess while we clear the chamber so we can continue an executive session.
You need to bar Barry Williams from coming to any other city commission meeting.
Second? Second.
Can I get a second?
You talking about that, Williams?
Yeah,
That Barry Williams?
yeah, that Barry Williams.
Can't bar you.